My family forgot to invite me to my grandparents' funeral, but they are convinced I was there. I am not oop. Oop is you, just a throwaway 282641. Originally posted to R2 Hot Takes. My family forgot to invite me to my grandparents' funeral, but they are convinced I was there. Trigger warnings. Death of loved ones. Emotional manipulation. Gaslighting. Less than. And NBS P. Original post November 14, 2023. I'm 30s F and caused a major blow-up in my family, and now none of them are talking to me. For background, my hometown is tiny, 500 pop, and when I went 2 hours away to the city, 15,000 pop, for college, I loved it. I ended up staying after graduation, got married, and am happy here for a decade. I visit my hometown every few weeks or so, call, text my family near daily, and thought we were all good. My family's pretty small, just my brother, mom, stepdad, dad, stepmom, and an aunt and uncle. Mom's siblings. Never married. No kids. My mother's grandparents moved to my hometown when I was in high school and were just down the street from us. My family has always been pretty drama-free, aside from my parents' divorce when I was a kid. And we've been happy. The stepparents were blended in perfectly and we share holidays and celebrations together. We're all super close and just the perfect little group. Ever since I moved away, the topic of when am I moving back is constant, and I've always laughed it off. My hometown has nothing. You have to drive 30 minutes for milk and bread, 6,090-minute one-way commutes to work, and floods shut down the main road every Easter. I love the town, but I love here more. I have parks, stores, community events, a library. The city is great. My family grumbles that I need to move back, but I refuse. I've been trying to encourage them to come here, especially since it's not an hour drive to the nearest medical facility. Now to the meat and potatoes. Both my grandparents passed over COVID times. They were both old and their health had been failing for a while, so it was only a matter of time. Thankfully they didn't catch it, but it made visiting them impossible and we survived mostly through FaceTime. They both passed in their sleep months apart. Both were cremated and kept securely under the kitchen sink for safekeeping while the pandemic blew over. That was 2021. Well, I just found out my family held a funeral for them and scattered the ashes in my uncle's maple grove over the summer. No one said a word to me about it. I've visited numerous times before and after and not one word. I only found out because my great-uncle from California posted on Facebook a few weeks ago that he is entering hospice and was so thankful his health stayed strong enough for him to see his little sister, my grandma, to her final resting place. I was confused and called my mom. She was all, yeah, the funeral we had in July. Remember? Y'all. I visited them for the 4th of July. They did the funeral the 8th. Not a word about it to me. They had planned this for months. Long enough to arrange for my infirm great-uncle to be brought over from the other side of the country. Apparently. They talked about it, all the time. Everyone is convinced I was at the funeral. They swear I was there. I can prove I wasn't because Google's got my location history. My hubby is baffled because he was supposedly there, too. But he had to work every weekend in June and July. Time clock doesn't lie. My family straight up forgot about me. I'm hurt. I'm sad. And they're pissed at me for lying. They think I'm causing drama over nothing. Nothing I say can convince them I wasn't there. My family is united in this. And they've all put me on read until I admit I'm wrong. They think I've gone nuts. Either there's a doppelganger of me attending events, or my family doesn't want to admit they screwed up. I'm not backing down. Thanksgiving is coming up, and my family's been vague posting on Facebook about forgetful kids and mental health. It's so freaking weird and I don't know if I'm in bizarro world or what's going on. My mom's best friend reached out and said I should just admit I was wrong and apologize. That I'm causing my mom so much unnecessary stress. I asked her if she's checked everyone's home for CO2. She hung up on me. We checked our CO2, and our testers are running just fine. I have reached out to a few people in my hometown to check in on my folks, and they all say they're fine. I even spoke with the local volunteer firefighter group to see if they could check for gas leaks. Not sure if they were able to. I don't know what to do. I've shown them the proof I wasn't there, but they know I'm tech savvy and just assume I've photoshopped it. Hubby says we need a break, and we're going to be staying home this holiday season. Edit. I don't know the update rules, so I'll post updates to my profile should anyone want them. And NBS P. Relevant comments. T and Tomes. Yeah, they know they messed up big time and don't want to admit it. But they created this narrative to make themselves feel better and now have pushed it so hard that friends and the community are in on it. They might even believe it themselves at this point. It can happen. I agree with your husband. Take a break and decide what is best for you going forward. IOW. What can you live with and how much do you want them in your life given the gaslighting? So sorry, families can be difficult, especially with self-created drama. That's kinda our thoughts. That they forgot, and don't want to lose face in the community. And now they've dug themselves in too deep to get out. If they truly do believe it, it scares me that they've all agreed to this delusion. Squarzies. I feel like I need more info but not even sure what to ask. However, to me it sounds intentional. They didn't invite you, and were maybe hoping this would make you want to move home again so you don't forget anymore. Family events? If anyone said something like, well, if you lived in town you would have known, then that's the answer. It would also make me want to find out how everyone else was told about said funeral. Were they called, texted, emailed, told at 4th of July? Maybe if everyone else was invited in person they did just forget to invite you. But even that he would seem kind of like a stretch if you do go back visit and call as much as you say. I thought this at first, but it just seems so cruel and unlike them. They like where I live, say it's nice and occasionally visit. I don't know how the event was organized, but I'm guessing word of mouth. Like I said, I was there just a few days earlier. We had a big meal and set off fireworks. Hubby and I had taken the 5th off and we left that evening after a lovely dinner and some board games. We talk all the time on the phone. My stepmom calls me almost every night. Used to anyway. It's been a weird few weeks not talking to them. I get home from work and start automatically pulling up someone to call. And then I remember. I usually talk to my dad every Sunday morning while we drink our coffee. Not having him call this week had me sitting outside in my usual spot and just sitting. I don't know how to describe it. Felt kinda numb and weird. Hubby's been working on cheering me up. He's so angry at this whole thing. I'm afraid he's gonna just leave one morning, drive over there, and start knocking heads around. Tropics and caffeine. The majority of the people, if pressed, would not remember you there. They just think that because no one remembers who is at a funeral, you are being gaslighted by your parents. They do not want to admit their mistake. Just stay home and enjoy your own time. If anyone says anything, tell them you can provide proof you were geographically elsewhere. There is no reason for you to lie. And ask them for proof you were there. Photos. Standing up to talk. Anything. They will not be able to do so. I asked for photos. They sent me the one we took on the 4th of July a few days prior. When I pointed out the sparklers the neighbor kids had in the background, stepdad just got testy about it. Now they've all just stopped responding to any of my messages and requests for proof, or my presenting of proof. And NBS P. Update November 27, 2023. Not sure how to do updates on posts. So figured I'd post anything on my profile. Folks have private messaged me and this will be easier I think. It's 11/27 and Thanksgiving just happened. Hubby and I stayed home. We got a small turkey and made our own little Thanksgiving. It was nice. We ate around noon, then watched a movie, and later sat outside with a bottle of wine to watch the sunset behind the trees and neighbor houses. We usually take the day before off, drive to my folks, stay the night, and help with the Thanksgiving Day cooking. So it wasn't until Wednesday night that my mom broke the silence. Mom called and asked when I was showing up, and I told her we were staying home this year, but for them to have a happy Thanksgiving, and to give the rest of the family my love. She was quiet for a long time after I said that, and I think she eventually mumbled an "okay" or something, and hung up. It wasn't an angry hang up, just a hang up. On Thanksgiving Day, I sent a group "Happy Thanksgiving" gift to our family group chat. I received a few "Happy Thanksgiving"s back. No one said anything else. There's been no posts on Facebook and NBS P. This is a repost sub IAM not oop. I would not call this conclusive. A frustrating read. I asked for photos. They sent me the one we took on the 4th of July a few days prior. When I pointed out the sparklers the neighbor kids had in the background, stepdad just got testy about it. Now they've all just stopped responding to any of my messages and requests for proof, or my presenting of proof. If there's one thing gaslighters dislike, it's solid evidence. OP's family sucks. It's pretty clear that this family is gaslighting Op and not willing to apologize. Op made a good decision to stay home with her husband to have a sweet little Thanksgiving. I rather celebrate something small than having to deal with people who gaslight. That last update seemed kinda sad to me. Not specifically for Oop and hubby. It seemed like they had a wonderful Thanksgiving for themselves, but sad for the family as a whole. The way Oop describes her mother's subdued reaction to her staying home for Thanksgiving makes me wonder if mom is just now realizing how deeply fractured their relationship has become by this stupid standoff, but still can't find the will to say anything about it. Same for the group text. They exchange surface-level holiday greetings, and then just silence for the rest of the day. And after, no celebration on social media, either, like with past events, and no follow-up on their vague references to forgetful children and mental health. If they really were going full steam on their chosen narrative, they would have made a fuss about Oop skipping Thanksgiving, but they don't. Either the shame of how they've effectively excommunicated a branch of their family over their own mistake is catching up with them, or they're not actually that bothered, and OOP's relationship with her family has been dead for longer than she thought. Okay, maybe if there were 34 first cousins someone could get lost. 2 parents, 2 step-parents, and an aunt and uncle plus the brother. 7 people didn't notice her there. I wonder if they get together often and have just gotten used to frequent gatherings without her. I agree with others, they got embarrassed and tried to gaslight their way out. It's not clear if they were invited to Thanksgiving or again the family just assumed they would show up. I don't know where Op is from, but this is the most aggressively Midwestern family. Just refuse to talk about things and hope everyone comes to their senses, all while holding deep resentment and gossiping about it. Such a weird hill for that family to die on. So, I got family that all lives in a small community. They're spread out a bit over a couple of counties. But I swear, anyone who moves away is somehow just cut out of things. You must visit them. You must initiate all communication. And how dare you have a life that does not allow you to show up for every occasion and holiday? Even the little ones like Labor Day. I used to think it was just my family, or then, as I got older, maybe just people from that area. Then my sister married a guy from a completely different area of the country. Actually where we grew up. And different ethnic background. But his family all lived close to each other. Many actually on the same street. Sis and Bill moved away for his work. And y'all, his family acted like he died. Never visited. Rarely called. Did not encourage him to visit. In many ways, worse than my family. Now I live in a whole other area of the county from either my family or where I grew up. And people here act just about the same when they're more than 20 minutes away. Anything over an hour might as well be on the moon. It's a damn weird thing, but very, very common across, as far as I can tell, every different racial, ethnic, religious, regional, national, however the hell you divide up people, group that you can name. You'll find some that act like this. I remember this post and I still think it was intentional and a punishment against Oop for refusing to move back home. They were just hoping she wouldn't call them out about it and for her to get over it. How in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch is this concluded? There's no way this wasn't planned. Op was there just days before the service and it never came up in casual conversation. If they were truly innocently overlooked, it would have been mentioned at some point and rectified. Op mentioned they talked to their family nearly daily and somehow it never came up? That stinks of deliberate omission. Op never mentions a one-on-one conversation with their brother. Usually in family drama there's a generational alliance, at least where a sibling might hear you out more and offer some insights on the family drama. Is there an inheritance at stake? By keeping Op away, does the family get more? Carbon monoxide, CO, not carbon dioxide, CO2, for anyone confused. That was anticlimactic. Oop should have been like, what are you talking about? I came to Thanksgiving. We talked all weekend. Lol. Op should gaslight them back. When they ask her why she wasn't at Thanksgiving, just keep saying she was there, how she enjoyed the food, etc. Photoshop herself into pictures as well. Be offended that they photoshopped her out of social media pics as well. Part of me wished they had texted, "We're here," and sent the 4th of July photos. This is not concluded. Why would you mark this concluded? This is not concluded. And I really want to know what's up with the memorial. Did any of the other townsfolk go? I hope Oop updates us after Christmas. Christmas, New Year is going to be interesting for them. I hope she continues to stand her ground. What a bunch of shameful brats. Oop missed out the response of, "We're already here," on Thanksgiving.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.